And my wife is here, and I'll introduce her in a second, but she tells me that when I dance, I look like a praying mantis. Somehow, I don't think that's I just don't. But guys, she doesn't get to travel with me all the time, but she's here tonight. Please give it up for my wife. Well, wow, I'm excited to be here. I haven't been to Westchester in a day or two, so we were in town not too far away, and called Barb and Ed Jr. and said, hey, can I come to a meeting? And they said, sure. So here I am. So y'all are going to just have to suffer away and tolerate me. But I'm going to talk a little bit, I'll tell you a little about who I am, and then I'm going to talk about the company, and then I'm going to talk about just life in general and what I think it takes to be a success. And I'm going to do all that and get us out of class on time, and then we're going to all head over to, what's the name of that place, Barbara? Timothy's. We're going to go head over to Timothy's, right just a couple of blocks from here, and grab us a bite. Fair enough? Fair enough. Well, all right, guys, for you that don't know me, I am Presley Swaggerty. I'm a high school basketball coach by trade. I coached for 16 years there in Garland, Texas. I loved it. I did it with a passion. I felt like I helped some kids, but I never made much money. I finally decided that the Mavericks, Lakers, or Sixers weren't going to call me, so I was looking for something to do to see if I could change my financial picture when a friend of mine called up and showed me what you guys just looked at. Now, I'll tell you, it wasn't screens and, speakers, and I've never seen all this stuff. This is a production here. The little laser ball thing over there, we got all kinds of stuff. It wasn't like that, guys. It was a big old tablet on a wobbly tripod, and the guy had a marker. I mean, if you can kind of picture that. It wasn't all this stuff. And he wasn't up there going, the company's done $6 billion and been around for 8 years. He was saying, we don't know the name of the company, we're calling it Mystery Energy. I'd say, well, what's your rate? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be good. Well, how does the compensation plan work? Well, I hope so. I mean, that was kind of how I was looking at it. I didn't understand everything. Didn't understand most of it, actually, but I kept having just a couple of thoughts run through my mind as I was looking at that. I kept thinking, everybody I know needs electricity. Everybody I know wants to make some more money. I think this might work. I mean, that was really the thought process that was going on in my poor little brain, I couldn't have explained it that night if I'd have had to, but I just kept thinking, this might work, this might work, this might work. So I decided to give it a shot. I got in with the goal to make $1,000 a month, $1,000. I thought, boy, if I can make $1,000 a month, I can start paying some credit card bills down. Jeannie and I had run up credit cards. Y'all are looking at me funny. Do y'all not have credit cards in here? That's just a Texas thing, huh? But we'd run credit card bills up, and I thought, if I can get $1,000 a month coming in, I'll put that whole $1,000 towards those credit cards and start paying them suckers down. So put my head down, went to work, took about 6 or 7 months. But Jeannie and I went to the mailbox, ripped the envelope out of there. This was before they had direct deposit. Opened that envelope, yanked it out. I have never been as excited to see a comma in my entire life as to have a residual check with my name on it and a comma involved. I was pumped up, guys. But you can go to church with a man named Zig Ziglar. Some of you might have heard of Zig. And Zig used to always tell us, he'd say, go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you're going to be able to see a little further. Well, when we got it to 1,000, I could see 3. When we got it to 3, I could see 5, and then 10, and then 20. And Jeannie and I have been blessed to make millions of dollars doing this business, and I don't say that bragging, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, if you're willing to get out there and put out some effort for probably, somewhere between 12 and 36 months of really getting after it, you're going to have a chance to change your life and do anything that you might have done. It's doable. That's what's exciting about this. That's enough about me. The company, I'm not going to go into a lot of that. You've heard a lot about that, yes, but it's amazing. Rob Snyder, our chairman's an amazing man. He for a guy that's a gazillionaire, works harder than anybody I've ever been around. I'm sure most of you guys have heard Rob speak before. Just a down-to-earth, easygoing guy. We've got an amazing company behind us, and as you heard the guys talking about, we've got the future in front of us with all the states, with all the countries, everything. I don't know where all they're going to end up going in the future, but I tell you what, the future is bright, and I'm pretty pumped up about what we've done, but I'm more pumped up about what's coming here pretty quickly. Now, for you guests, there's 4 reasons you should join us. One is residual income. I've never experienced it. I'm blue collar, guys. I grew up dirt poor in southeast Dallas. no dad around. My mom worked in the sewing factory. I always traded time for money. Can y'all relate? I mean, that was my whole life. You'd go work, get paid, work, get paid, work, get paid. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you didn't go to work, you didn't get paid. I mean, that linear income was all I ever knew. I didn't even know what residual was. I used to think residual was what you left in the bathtub after a hard day's work, I didn't know. Y'all have had a tough day, haven't you? I mean, I'm giving you some of my best stuff, and y'all are just staring at me, I mean, geez, lighten up. I'm not going to talk long. We're going to go to Timothy's and eat because I'm hungry. But just smile at me, would you? I came 1,500 miles to be here. Good night. Woo! You're getting to me, Brian. I mean, I didn't know what got you. I got it. Am I all right? Okay. Brian says I'm all right. What was I talking about? Residual income. The bathtub, yeah. I need a bath, I guess. I don't. But anyway, no, guys, I've never experienced residual. I didn't know you could do something once and keep getting paid. But guys, think about this. Everybody you know paid an electric bill, guys. We're gonna use this stuff. I mean, every month we're going to pay that, and as you're building that team of people, they're going to use that, and all of a sudden, all those little bits that went over is going to start adding up, and all of a sudden, it's a bunch. But it just takes us, we just get a few business partners, and then we teach our business partners to get a handful of customers, and all that starts adding up over time. Each of us individually only need 8 customers. Guys, come on, let's get real on this. We can do this.
Amen.
If we want to change our life. I loved what they were talking about. There may be a recession out there, but we don't have to have a recession personally if we don't want it. We can do something different to change that, and we've got a vehicle that can do it, but you want to experience some residual income because it buys our time back. That's what residual does. As I get older, the more I appreciate my time more than anything else. And if you have residual income coming in, then you can do what you want to do, not what you have to do. We want some residual. Number 2, we only need a handful of customers. It's not about us running all over creation, trying to sign up hundreds of customers. No, guys, we need 10 points. What website counts as 2. Most of us will convince ourselves to try it, so that would be 3, which really means we need 7. 7 customers, guys. We got competitive rates. Get your butt out there and get you 7 customers. I mean, geez, I didn't like that part of it. I mean, it's funny. I didn't mind talking to somebody about giving me $3.29, but I needed to ask them to do something that was for free. I don't really know what my logic was on that, but that's all we need. And right now, golly, guys, all of us, if we just go do 3 business partners and 10 customers, what do we get? An iPad. We get an iPad. Jeez, and it ain't one of the cheapies. It's one of the high-dollar ones. By doing 3 and 10, and that's for new people and old people. And this also applies to us too. We can get free energy. By getting 5 more customers, making it 15, all of a sudden then, for doing 3 and 15, guys, we can all get us a free iPad and free energy. And that free energy isn't for 1 month. That free energy is for every month as long as you keep those 15, guys. We got a chance to do something pretty neat right there. Now, I'm hoping that your goals and dreams are bigger than that, but that ain't a bad start, though, is it? I mean, that's a good start. They didn't have that when I was started, but they got it now. We only need a few customers, guys. Number 3, the timing couldn't be better. The timing is great with what's going on. We're in at a great time. We're in with a company that's already established. See, we get the best of both worlds. We've got a company that's already established, that's already got a track record, that's already done billions of dollars, but it's still a ground floor opportunity. That makes it a real special opportunity for us. And then my 4th and final point on this is it's energy. When you go talk to successful people and you go, hey, I got a business deal I want to talk to you about, they're all going to go, well, what is it? Well, when you can say it's an energy company, it catches their attention, guys. There's nothing wrong with soaps, lotions, potions, powders, and pills, but I tell you what, you're going to figure out real quick that it's more exciting to talk about energy, and those successful people are going to be a whole lot more willing to listen to you because it's energy. Guys, huge residual. We only need a few customers. We're in at the beginning, and it's energy. For you guests, that's the 4 reasons I think you should join us tonight. Let's do this thing. Now, I'm going to talk just a couple of minutes about life, and then we'll be done. I'm going to tell you about the day that I call my day of total frustration, and this is the day that totally changed my life. I was a head coach at a big 5A high school there in Texas. We had about 2,500 students, and this one day was a Wednesday, and I'm standing in what we call the commons area. It was in between the gym and the auditorium, big open area there in the school, and the bell dings, ding. And it's time to go to lunch. Well, on Wednesdays, it was my favorite day of the week, not because it was Monday. They had chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, gravy, and chess pie in the cafeteria. That was my favorite day because I loved chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, gravy, and chess pie. So the bell rings, and you could eat in our cafeteria for about $2. So I pull my wallet out that day. And, you know, here I am, bachelor's degree, master's degree, head coach. I'm BMOC there at Lakeview, you know. Y'all know what that stands for? Big man on campus, Coach Swaggerty, you know. So Coach Swaggerty pulls out his wallet, and he's looking in his wallet. There wasn't $2 in my wallet. There wasn't $1 in my wallet. Well, it's Wednesday. I'm not going to miss chicken fried steak day, so I remember I got some change out in my truck. So I go out to my truck in the parking lot, and I didn't have a clicker. This is an 86 Mazda beat-up pickup with like 250,000 gazillion miles on it, and I unlock the door with my key, and I'm laying across the seat, and I know no one in this room has ever done this, but I'm counting out change out of my ashtray. I had pride. I wouldn't take the pennies. I'm throwing them back, you know. But I count out $2 worth of nickels, dimes, and quarters, and I shut the ashtray, and I close the door, and I lock the door, and I'm standing here in the parking lot at Lakeview High School looking at $2 of change. Now, I wish I could say that was the only time in my life I'd ever done that, but I had done that a few times in my life. But for some reason, this one particular day, as I'm standing there looking at $2 and change in my hand, something came all over me. That I don't want to keep living my life counting $2 and change out of a flipping ashtray to go eat lunch in the school cafeteria. You know, most of mine and Jeannie's fights back then were over money. You know, I got tired of telling the kids, no, you can't go to the amusement park, get out in the backyard, run through the sprinkler, you know. I mean, you know, that's kind of how our life was back then because there was always more month than money. But I'm standing there in that parking lot looking at $2, and I didn't have the benefit of what you guys have. Y'all are sitting here looking at an opportunity that's made lots and lots of people millionaires already. I'm standing in a parking lot. This is long before Ignite came along. I don't really know what I'm going to do. So I'm standing there just staring at it. Now I'm going to have to fast forward. By the way, I did go in, use my $2 and change, and ate my chicken fried steak that day. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I had a cousin named Manny Carter. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about Manny. Manny was a few years older than I was, grew up like I did. See, I grew up on a street called Dunlap. Where there were 2 murders and a rape within 7 houses. They confiscated 500 pounds of marijuana from the house across the street. I saw more drugs and violence as a kid than I care to remember. That was my upbringing. I don't apologize for it. I had a great mom. She was a loving, godly woman, and I'm the man I am because of her, but we just didn't have much. Manny grew up a lot like I did, but Manny had made something of himself, so I thought, you know, as I was standing there looking at this change, I need to call Manny. Manny might can counsel me and help me a little bit, you know. So I called Manny up and said, hey, Manny, is there a day that I could come over and us talk and maybe you give me some advice? And he's a very gracious man, and Manny said, sure, Presley, come on over. So I go over to Manny's house, and I'm standing talking to Manny, and it's much like any cousin you'd be talking to. You know, we talk about life and the family and what's going on and all that. But then I said, hey, Manny, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, I need some advice. What can I do? Please help me a little bit if you can. And I still remember Manny standing there, and he said, okay, let me ask you a few questions. And I thought, this is strange. I thought he was going to give me advice, not ask me questions. But he said, okay, Presley. He said, in the last year, how much money have you saved? None, Manny. He goes, okay. In the last year, Presley, how many books have you read? None, Manny. He goes, okay. In the last year, how many classes have you taken or seminars have you attended to improve your skills? None, man. That's okay. Presley, January of this year, you know, what goals did you write out for this year? What did you want to accomplish with your life this year? What was your plan? Didn't have one, Manny. I remember Manny looking at me and said, Presley, if you want more, you've got to become more. He said, you don't chase success, you attract success by the person you become. And I'm going to go over 4 P's very quickly. Y'all got to listen faster. I'm going to go over 4 P's of what I think it takes to be successful. We've got to plan, we've got to prepare, we've got to produce, and then we can provide. Plan, prepare, produce, provide. Plan. I would dare say, if I took a poll in this room and everybody was honest with me, that maybe 10% of us actually have written down goals for what we wanted to accomplish this year. Guys, I'm going to tell you that's a shame. You know, as I travel the country, I find that more people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do planning their life. Guys, we've got to have some plans. How do we know if we arrive anywhere if we don't even know where we're trying to get? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I'm going to challenge all of us tonight before you go to bed. You get your rear home and you get a piece of paper and write down some things that you want to be, do, and have. Just real simple. What do you want to be, do, and have, guys? And just write a few things down, and don't put any limits on it. Don't put a limit on it. Just get it down there, okay? And then, you know, I wish I could talk for a couple of hours on goal setting. I don't have time to go into that, but I will say this. We're going to write down what we want to be, do, and have, and then just stick a few steps in there for each of them that you need to accomplish to reach that dream that you have, okay? Fair enough? But tonight, write a few things down, and then just simply put that on the mirror. And what I'm going to try to do here in the next few days is maybe on the Coaching Cowboy call, maybe even this Sunday I might do that, or maybe do a goal setting deal, and we can all call in and listen, and I can go into details. But guys, get you a plan. We got to have a plan. We got to know where we're going. So we don't get this isn't a dress rehearsal. Have you figured that out, guys? This is it. And we've got to make the best of what we've got. See, we need to know where we're trying to get. And all of a sudden, here's what'll happen if you got a plan. Though Monday morning won't be so ugly if you got a plan. If you have some goals and some dreams and you're trying to accomplish things and become things and get some things for you and your family, all of a sudden Monday's a little bit exciting. You know, because for most of us, I know when I was coaching and teaching, Monday was an ugly deal, huh? I just kind of slimed out of bed. As a matter of fact, Monday started about this time 60 minutes come on Sunday evening because I'd start getting that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach knowing Monday's around the corner. Guys, if you've got some exciting things that you're chasing in your life, all of a sudden you'll figure out that life's pretty exciting, guys, and Monday it's going to take on a whole new meaning. You know, one of the things for Jeannie and I that makes this life so exciting now is every day's a Saturday, and I'm going to tell you, you can have that same feeling. A lot of days I look at Jeannie and I say, what is today? I don't even know a lot of the times, guys, and that's a good feeling to not even have to know what day it is, but we've got to have that plan. Number 2, we've got to prepare. And this is something that Manny really focused on that day we were talking. He said, you know, you got to prepare. Well, I'm not saying do all this before you start working your Ignite business. No, not at all. We got to get that going. But as you're working your Ignite business, we need to be doing a couple of things, guys. We need to be growing as a person because that's where we're going to get those the financial freedom that we're chasing. That's where we're going to get that money. If we decide we want to become more, then we'll start attracting success to us, guys. We need to read. I didn't like to read. I still don't like to read, really, but I like to learn, so therefore I read. But, you know, I taught math, so I wouldn't have to read. You know, I'm not a very good reader, if you want to know the truth. I'm kind of slow at reading, and I'm one of those guys, I can read 2 or 3 pages and sit up and look around and think, what did I just read? You know, I know nobody else in here is like that, but that's, you know, that's just the way I am. We need to read, guys, and if you'll just simply read 10 pages a day, it can change your life. Get this. Let me ask you, if you read 10 pages tonight before you go to bed, will it change your life? No. Nah, probably not. I guess in a rare circumstance it might, but no. But let's think that through. What if I read 10 pages tonight, but then I turned around and read 10 pages tomorrow night? And then the next night? And wouldn't we all agree that we could scratch out 10 or 15 minutes to read us 10 pages if we wanted to at some point in time during the day? Yes or yes on that one? Yeah, we could. We could all find time to read 10 simple pages. Well, if I read 10 pages today and tomorrow and the next day 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 and the next day, and for one calendar year I simply read 10 pages. That's 3,650 pages, and I've read somewhere between 1 dozen and 2 dozen good books. That's a little different perspective on reading, doesn't it? I mean, it did for me, because I used to look at a big old thick book, you know, and I'd go, oh, that's too thick, you know. Oh, the print's too small, and it wasn't quite as bad as Ed. Ed would look and go, no pictures. But, you know, there's an element of truth there, and it's kind of sad. I wouldn't even look at a book like that because oh my God, you know. But now, it doesn't matter, because if I'm going to read my 10 pages a day, it doesn't really matter. I read at least 10 pages a day, move on to the next day. Read 10 pages, move on to the next day, and at the end of a year, you're going to read a bunch, and your thinking's going to be different, because anything significant we do in our life, we got to do it 2 times. And the first place is where? Right here. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. That's it. That's just the way things work in our life, guys. We need to read. Number 2 is you're driving around. Stick a book on CD in that CD player. You're driving around in that rolling university. See, I didn't like to read, so I'd get those books on CD and I'll throw it in. The average American drives about 30 minutes a day. Average American commutes 30 minutes a day. Well, if you take 30 minutes times 5 years, that's 1,250 hours. That's the equivalent of a 4-year college education if you'll listen to some good stuff, put some good stuff in your mind while you're simply driving around in the car, and you're going to be doing that anyway, guys. Instead of listening to the negative news, why don't we put something positive in there and listen to something good that can change our lives? And you know, I can look at a bunch of you guys, and you're looking up here going, oh, that guy's a nut, look at him. You know, if you ask Jeannie, and you can before you leave, she'd probably tell you, yes, he is a nut. But I tell you, because I was willing to do what Manny suggested to me, I am now a rich nut. And I'm telling you what, it is fun being a rich nut. I recommend it highly. I spent most of my life trying to do it my way, and I finally decided to go to somebody that had been successful and ask them, and all of a sudden it's amazing. If we'll follow successful people, we can find success ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you what, everybody in this room has greatness inside you. Everybody in this room has greatness inside you. Yeah, we've all made mistakes and we've all done stuff we shouldn't, and some of us may be a little rougher on the outside than others, but I'm telling you what, everybody in this room has greatness in you. But you got to understand, you're going to have to work to pull that greatness out. It doesn't just kind of pop out on its own. We got to get in there and dig and hunt for it. But I tell you, if we'll start reading and if we'll start listening to those books on CD and audio program, and then my third way that we grow as a person is run with winners. Run with winners. Run with winners. Ladies and gentlemen, every relationship in your life is either pulling you up or dragging you down. Every relationship. There's not a neutral one, guys. It just works that way. Every relationship. We all have that core group of people that we spend time with, usually 5 to 10 people that we'll spend the bulk of our time with. Guys, I challenge you, before you go to bed tonight, you go through that list and ask yourself 3 little questions. Is this someone I should stop associating with? If there's somebody on that list that you shouldn't be with, you know it right now, you know they're bad news, and you know you need to get them out of your life, well, do it. Number 2, ask, is this someone I should limit my association with? Because, you know, there's a few people, we're not going to get rid of them, but we might, you know, limit the time with them. I actually put that on there because we can't really get rid of our family, huh? But we might limit the association with some of them suckers, huh? So, limit. And then the third one is, it's someone I should expand my association with. Everybody in this room knows winners and you know losers. Start running with the winners and start spending less time with the losers. And don't run out of here and go, yeah, Presley said get rid of all my friends and family. No, I'm not saying that. I didn't hold some big meeting and go, okay, friends and family, all you losers, I'm not going to hang around y'all anymore. You know, no, we don't do that. But you know what? When it's somebody that I know I shouldn't be spending time with, and they call and want to do something, I just happen to be a little busier than I used to be. Huh? Guys, there's a way to do that stuff tactfully, and I'm challenging you, spend your time with winners. So for us to prepare our lives to receive that financial blessing that we have a chance to do, we need to have a plan. We're going to do that tonight before we go to bed, and we're going to start reading and listening and hanging with winners. And then the third P is produce. So we're going to plan, we're going to prepare, and now we're going to produce. And the produce is pretty simple. Get your butt out there and start showing the plan to people, guys. Get this information in front of folks, and yeah, the 80-20 rule is going to apply. 80% of them are going to tell you how much they want to change their life, but they ain't going to be willing to do anything. Have you figured that out? But understand, that's everything. That's on the job, that's at church, that's everywhere you go. The 80-20 rule applies. So just understand, I'm going to talk to 10 people, I'm going to get 2 or 3 of them. The other 7 or 8, you know, 5 years from now, they're going to be in that same place, guys, because if we don't do something different, ain't nothing going to change in our life. This is our something different. This is our chance to do something special in our lives. So let's get out there and start showing that plan. People all the time say, Presley, how'd you make that money? You can ask Jeannie again. I tell people, plug into meetings, set appointments, show the plan. That's it. Plug into meetings, set appointments, show the plan. We just do it over and over and over again. And somebody said, no, Presley, I really want to make lots of money. What do? Well, if you want to make lots of money, then do this. Plug into meetings, set appointments, and show the plan. No, Presley, I want to make millions like you have. What do? I want to make millions. Then plug into lots of meetings, set lots of appointments, and show lots of plans. And are you going to always feel like it? Nope. Nope. Do you realize discipline is doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not? There was a lot of those days that I didn't feel like driving across town to show a presentation. There was a lot of days I didn't feel like running hard to go do a lunch meeting and run back to work. There was a lot of days I didn't feel like, just a lot of days I didn't feel like. But you know what? I knew if I sat there at that house doing nothing, it wasn't going to change my life at all. We got to get that through our head that doing nothing ain't the way, guys. I mean, hope is not a very good strategy. Crossing our fingers is not a very good strategy. We need to have our plan, like I just talked about. We need to write that down before we go to bed tonight. We need to prepare by growing as a person, by reading and listening and running with people that are going somewhere with their lives. And then we need to start producing, guys. We need to get our rear out there and start showing this plan and make it happen. If you get excited, people, good things will happen. I always tell folks, if you get fired up, people will come from miles around to watch you burn. Right? But you got to be excited. We got to get excited about life again and understand again that we've got greatness inside us and we can accomplish great and mighty things with our life if we just will. And then the fourth P is provide. Provide. If you'll plan, if you'll prepare, and if you'll produce, then you can provide for yourself and your family. I did this business because of my family. My wife was working as a paralegal 50, 60 hours a week. We were having marital problems. We were like two ships passing in the night. It was an ugly deal. Never seeing each other, always fighting over money. I could go on and on and on. But because of this business, Jeannie doesn't work anymore, obviously. She's now a professional shopper, ladies. We'll have to congratulate her. We'll have to congratulate her on the way out. She got inducted into the MasterCard Hall of Fame, though. Jeannie doesn't work. I did this so she wouldn't have to. Thank the Lord that came true. I did it for our kids. We only got 2 kids, but Sarah Beth was wanting to go to Baylor. I don't know if you know much about Baylor other than that's where RG3 went, but Baylor's a private school there in Central Texas, and it's about 30-something grand a year to go to Baylor, and Sarah Beth's wanting to go to Baylor, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I can't afford 30-something thousand a year to send her to Baylor. And I'm thinking, okay, I can tell her no, or I can tell her, oh, you go to Baylor, get you some loans, and you can owe them $125 grand when you get out. I didn't like any of those guys, but because of this business, Sarah Beth got to go to Baylor. That first year, I paid for it. You know what, young folks? And there, I saw a lot of young people in this room. Sarah Beth got in this business when she was 18. She paid her sophomore, junior, and senior years to Baylor herself because of Ignite. You don't have to be my age. She's not here. Don't clap for her. And now, guys, let me say this, though. Every decision we make has ripple effects, you know. Sarah Beth is now chasing her dreams. Most of you guys know Sarah Beth is a rising country music star, and that was actually while we were up here. They were having a big NRA convention, and they asked her to come sing, so she performed there at that. And Jeannie and I got to come up and watch that, but she's chasing her dreams because she was willing to put in the time in the beginning, and now she makes that money that she doesn't have to worry about how she's paying her bills. She can chase her dreams now, ladies and gentlemen. Every decision we make has ripple effects. The other child we have is Jordan, and he came up here with us. He was pooped out, so he stayed at the hotel. But Jordan was a good baseball player. He was a freshman going into high school, and he was going to go to Garland High School, which was the public school, and you know, so we go, and you can tell he was a good ball player. But I mean, for you folks that know something about baseball, as a freshman, he's on the varsity. He's batting 3-hole, playing shortstop as a freshman. So we go to that first game, and Jeannie and I are up in the stands, and we couldn't wait. Man, we're looking around, and that field, it looked like a cow pasture with a fence around it. I mean, it was ugly, you know. I mean, not manicured, not taken care of. We're looking around up in the stands, and it's like me and Jeannie high-fiving each other because there ain't nobody else up there, you know. And there's no college coaches, no pro scouts, and we're thinking, what are we going to do? You know, it doesn't matter how good he is. If nobody sees him, it doesn't matter. So we went and checked. We went to church at a place called Prestonwood, and they had a big, a great academic school and a great athletic school, and their baseball field's beautiful and all that. And so I'm thinking that's where he needs to go. So we go check that thing out, and 13 grand a year. Couldn't afford it. So Jordan's freshman year, he went to Garland High School, did good, but nobody ever saw him. But guys, because of this business, Jordan's sophomore, junior, and senior years, he got to go to Prestonwood, where he ended up being an Aflac All-American. He was National Player of the Year, went to Arizona State, was All-American there, and got drafted in the 2nd round by the Cardinals. He's chasing his dreams now, guys. Again, every decision we make, ladies and gentlemen, has ripple effects. It has ripple effects. You can't live in a vacuum, guys. Everything we do, we got family, friends, kids, grandkids, they're watching us. We've got a chance to set the example. And, you know, for me, a long time, I didn't set a real good example as far as how to make something out of myself in life. But I'm telling you what, it doesn't matter. We can't go back and make a new beginning, but we can all start right now and make a good ending, huh? See, and that should be the goal of everybody in this room, to make the best ending possible. And no, money isn't everything. I'm not going to sit there and say it is. It is real close to oxygen, though. You know, I mean, it's right up there next to it. But, no, but you know, finances, it's hard to chase other dreams and goals if you can't pay your bills, guys. I mean, let's just get real with ourselves here, huh? So I'm not saying, it's not the most important thing. You need to have relationship goals and personal growth goals and health goals and all that too, but we've got to make some money, and here's our chance. I mean, we've got a company that's rocking. We've got to get our butt out there and take advantage of it, and let's change our lives. We've got a chance to do something real special, so we're going to plan. We're going to prepare ourselves. We're going to produce by working real hard, and then we're going to start providing for our family and for ourselves and do some stuff, because, guys, there's more to life than just struggling to get by. I challenge us all, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this thing. Let's make this thing happen. We've got a chance to do something real special. Let's start off by getting us a free iPad. Let's follow that up by getting 5 more customers and getting us free electricity every month. And then let's follow that up by getting rich. How's that? Huh? I mean, we can do that, guys. I believe with all my heart there's going to be 2 groups of us in this room. There's going to be the group that's glad they did, and there's going to be the group that wishes they had. Guys, be in the glad they did category. We will see you at Timothy's here in about 5 minutes. God bless. We're done.